Matt, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and where you were 3 years ago before you started looking at buying an investment property? And if it's not too personal, what was the objective when you started thinking about buying properties 3 years ago?
I mean, 3 years ago, okay, I'm in my early 40s in a relationship with children. Had just had a daughter and a son who were sort of 3 and 1 at the time. And it was conversations with family and other friends who had young children, more about the state of the property market and everyone being exasperated about how are our kids ever going to afford property when it's so unaffordable now. And I guess it was those conversations that sort of kicked in a bit of parental responsibility that if they're going to have any sort of head start in life, I need to be doing something about it now. And given that I was very fortunate that I had a property I had purchased back in 2010, so I had a fair bit of equity ready to go. So it was sort of all of that I thought I'd better start doing something about this if my kids are ever going to have a chance of affording property, perhaps even in Australia, let alone Sydney.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't know that actually. I thought this was for your retirement. So there you go, helping your kids. Good on you, mate.
Mm,
That's really good. It's funny you should say that because I'm looking at that right now for my kids as well. I don't know how they're going to buy in Sydney, but anyway, all you can
mm,
do is give them a bit of a leg up. Yeah.
absolutely.
And thanks for sharing that. And so when you think back at the time of you wanting to help your kids, what were the sort of obstacles that you were thinking about and trying to overcome with your plans to build that portfolio? Can you recall?
Um, I would say probably the biggest factor was analysis paralysis. There was just too much information out there. This is something I had thought about numerous times previously, but uh, no one I knew had really gone down this path. People had inherited property and things like that, but no one had sort of been in my situation. So I didn't have anyone I could call on for advice. And searching online was just scary. There were just an infinite number of get rich quick now courses and sign up with us and give us your credit card details. There was just so many potential scams out there that every time I started to look into it, okay, who do I turn to for help here? I just no, I'm not doing this. There's just I know I'm going to get scammed. There's so much conflicting information and so much information that wants you to sign on to courses to find out how to do this. And every time I just give up. And that was probably the main factor. It was only when I then had kids when I thought, okay, I have to persevere this time. For the sake of the kids, I just have to bite the bullet and get through it this time. And I was very fortunate that around about that time, you touched base with me again, because you'd been my mortgage broker previously, and yeah, things kicked off from there.
Yeah, great. I think a lot of people could relate to you, Matt. There's a lot of misinformation online or people with agendas trying to sell you off the plan, for example,
Mm,
and stuff like that. So, kudos to you for persevering and not sort of sticking your head in the sand because, yeah, I don't know if you want to share some of the results in a moment, but yeah, the results
absolutely.
have been outstanding. So let's talk more about that. So was there anything that gave you the confidence to buy the properties? What was it that sort of said, okay, you know what, this is giving me the confidence now to jump in?
Um, Look, I guess it was more the kick up the butt due to being a parent. That was definitely the biggest push. But as I just previously mentioned, it was probably more that we touched base again. And but by that stage, I had been working with you on and off for perhaps a decade in regards to the mortgage side of things. You'd helped me out a number of times with refinancing, and it was when you casually mentioned that you were getting into being a buyer's agent, helping people with investment properties, that I thought, well, this is the perfect opportunity. We have a very trusting relationship. You've really gone above and beyond and helped me out numerous times in regards to refinancing. So I thought if I'm going to partner up with anyone, I absolutely trust you. So this will, yeah, this is perfect.
Awesome, man. Thank you, man. Appreciate the vote of confidence. And yeah, it's easy with hindsight, right? Once you've got a 10-year relationship. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what about any of the information I presented? I don't know if you can go back to the days when I was presenting properties. I'm always a
Yeah,
big advocate of the data and
absolutely.
using data. So I don't know if you recall any of that, but was that helpful? And if so, how would you explain to people what the data looked like and made you feel?
It was, it's what gave me confidence. I'm very, very, very um, nervous when people sort of refer to trust me. That's perhaps one of the biggest red flags I can ever hear. If you can't prove it to me and have to rely on me trusting you, then we're off on the wrong foot immediately. That's something you have never ever said, and I'm a big fan of data. I'm in IT and a computer programmer, so all of my background is around data. So being able to prove things with data is the be all and end all. So when, and I guess if I had to explain it to people, you used your software that analysed uh, tens of thousands of data points, perhaps even more, in order to spot suburbs that had a boom and what those data points were just before the boom. The software would then scan all of Australia and look for similar suburbs with demographics and all the data points that match that, showing that this property or this suburb has every metric that matched that suburb that went through the roof. So we're confident this one is going to too. And I've bought 3 properties through yourself based on those metrics that I believed in too. And 3 out of 3 times we've made a significant profit in under 3 years on each of them.
Yeah, thank you, mate, for the vote of confidence. And really, it's kudos to you because you just saw the data. And I kept saying to everyone, don't believe me, don't believe anyone, just look at the data. So, yeah, it's good that you had that IT background and loved data.
Mm.
All right. So, without putting you don't need to mention this, but if you've got any property that you'd like to talk about and the results, you're entering a new phase in your life and it was time for you to sell 1 or 2 properties. So if you
Mm-hmm.
want to reveal to anyone what you bought it for and how much you've just sold.
Absolutely. We've exchanged contracts on 2 of our investment properties at the moment. Dacabin in Queensland. Now we bought that in October 2021. We paid 309,000 for that. We've just exchanged contracts, and we sold that for 540. So what's that? In a little under 3 years, we grossed $231,000. So that's uh, that's a pretty good profit in a little under 3 years. And the other one we have just exchanged contracts on is Leader in WA. We bought that in February 22, so a bit over 2 years ago, and we just exchanged for 590,000. So again, that grosses 200,000. So on those 2 properties, what's that? That's what $431,000 gross in under 3 years. So I don't know any other avenue legally that you're going to be getting that sort of money.
Yeah, congratulations, mate.
Thank you.
$431,000 in under 3 years.
Yeah,
And that's because you believed in the data.
that's
Yeah,
correct. Yeah.
yeah. Um, and the great news is, mate, there is still so much opportunity in this great country of ours. So
Oh,
looking,
absolutely. I'm not done. I am not done by a long shot. It's there's a blip on the radar. I'm getting over a little road bump at the moment, but as soon as I'm over this, I'm back in touch with you,
back
and
in
we're
there.
we're rolling the dice again and starting again.
Yeah, it's a great story. And mate, and if you had the benefit of hindsight, is there anything that you could tell the viewers what you would have done differently?
Uh, Look, the only meaningful thing, I absolutely would have done it sooner. I'm almost kicking myself that I did wait this long. It's almost criminally easy. When you have the right team, obviously I had agents looking after properties, had good conveyances and things like that. So as long as you've got the right team there, it's all just been so incredibly easy. So I definitely would have done it sooner. And look, in regards to personal circumstances, this isn't advice for everyone, but if I or when I'm doing it again, I may be buying through an LLC wrapped up in a family trust this time. But apart from that, no, yeah, can't wait to keep going.
It started. Mate, everyone regrets not going sooner. So yeah, it's easy in hindsight. But you're still relatively young, Matt. So you've got
Mm.
plenty of time to, enjoy another 3 cycles. All right, mate. And just lastly, if you don't mind me asking, what was it like working with my team and I?
Spectacular. Almost too easy. In fact, if I had just found you off the internet and knew nothing about you, I would be suspicious because it was just too easy. As I said, you shared the data. I'm a big fan of data. I did my due diligence, which wasn't particularly hard. You had done most of it. It was just more doing some research about the suburb and the area to make sure I felt comfortable with it. And then basically signing some paperwork, reading some contracts, and we were done. You took care of all of the negotiation with lenders and all of that. It was incredibly easy. So I love the process. In fact, for one brief second, for an utterly selfish motive, I almost considered not doing this interview because I thought I've done the hard work. I took the risk. I found John. Why am I going to risk giving up my golden goose so that other people can just jump on the gravy train? So, but I thought, no, you deserve this, John. You've made this process so easy and so rewarding that I hope you get thousands of customers off this.
Oh, Matt, thank you so much. I'm actually blushing, I think. Jesus, I haven't had anyone say something so generous on camera, but so yeah. But look, Matthew, look, it's just such a good bromance between us, and
Mm,
just so happy for you that in this new stage in your life, you've got so much to work with, and the confidence to move forward and understand how to use the data. So, thank you so much, Matt, and I look forward to working with you again.
absolutely. Thanks, John.